Hey everybody, it's Becky. I'm back today with another video in my Homeschool Heart-to-Heart series. I just filmed the first one, and I mentioned that I don't know if this is going to be a series because I don't know how many topics I'm going to have to talk about. But lately I've had a couple things that have popped into my head. This is another one and I wanted to share it with you. So I'm wearing the same thing as I wore in the other video, but that's okay. So in the last video I talked about our feelings of inadequacies as homeschooling parents. Sometimes we feel that we're not smart enough, or other people treat us like we're not smart enough to homeschool, and how that can make you feel. This one though is more on a, kind of a positive note. We started our homeschool year this year for the 2015-2016 school year. We started on August 10th. And my oldest daughter, we pulled her out of public school in the middle of her 4th grade year. So it's not that new to be homeschooling her. But my 5-year-old just started kindergarten. Like, she's legally in the system now as a homeschooling kindergartner. We did preschool with her last year, but we weren't required by the state to like submit any kind of letter of intent to them. So this is like her first official year. And I was scared to death. I'm still scared to death. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm still scared to death. But I have spent a lot of time researching what I wanted to do with her, to teach her reading, to teach her phonics, which we did a little bit of that in preschool, but like really hone in on phonics skills and rules and handwriting and reading. And I'm scared to death to teach somebody to read because that's a big deal. If you can't read, it severely will hinder you in your life. Even if you can't read well and you can't comprehend what you read, that's a big deal. You could read all day long, but if you can't remember what you read, then that doesn't do you any good. And like I talked about in my #1 thing to teach in homeschooling video that I did over the summer, I talked about how important it is for kids to be critical thinkers and self-guided learners and have that thirst for knowledge where they want to go out and read about all these different things they have questions about. And so reading is vitally important. And so if I just feel like there's so much pressure on me to teach her to read and to teach her to read well and comprehend what she reads. And I've been really excited because with my oldest daughter, like I mentioned, she was in public school from kindergarten all the way through the middle of 4th grade. So I didn't teach her to read. Yeah, I would do her flashcards with her when her teacher told us to, and I would help her with her homework and things like that. I wasn't actually there every day, 7 hours a day, to see her read. I mean, she learned to read in like 6 months. Not just like stuttering reading like flashcards. She was reading like chapter books, small chapter books in 6 months. Because I remember my oldest daughter, she started kindergarten in August, and then in January my youngest daughter was born, and she was reading her books at nighttime like January, February. So 6 or 7 months she was reading. And I feel like, you know, I'm not comparing my youngest and saying, oh, she has to learn to read in 6 months or I'm a failure. I don't feel that way because it's individual to each child, and it's also up to how fast I pace our homeschool day with her reading. But I wasn't there to see all those little milestones that she had every day, and I would see her work come home, and obviously I would see it like more and more in detail and harder things. I wasn't actually there to see, though, the process, and I wasn't actually there to see those times when the light bulb goes on and you can tell they get it. They understand what you're saying finally after teaching them a new concept or learning about addition. You're struggling in the beginning, you're trying to explain it, you're trying to figure out how you should say it so that they can understand it. But then there's that minute where the light goes on and you can tell they get it all of a sudden, and that's such an amazing feeling. And that's happened a lot lately with my 5-year-old. Even though she's only been doing homeschool kindergarten since August 10th, so like a month and a half, in just that little bit of time, getting the chance to see that happen with her is so amazing to see. It's so fun, and I really miss now that I missed out on that with my oldest daughter. I do see it with my oldest daughter too. I get really proud when she mentions something that we learned that I know she learned at home, not in public school. Something we talked about, something she read in a book. If we go to the zoo and she points out some kind of like obscure butterfly or some kind of a anatomical part of a, you know, a lemur or whatever she's learned in her science, like she knows this stuff, and I'm like, how do you know this stuff? And she's like, I read it in my science book. And I'm like, oh, you know, or we talked about it the other day and whatever, but she remembers. And I'm like, yes, she remembered something. I'm happy. I'm doing something right. So those are the days that I feel really happy and encouraged in our homeschooling journey. And if you homeschool, I'm sure that you have experienced those things too, or if you haven't yet, you will. But I just wanted to kind of share that feeling and how great that's been for both girls, but it's especially evident in my youngest since she is learning to read. I feel like she's doing so great in her reading program. I purchased it from Teachers Pay Teachers, and I'm planning on doing a review about it here coming up soon. I really love the lady that creates it. She's got so much great stuff. She's got a blog, and I'll put the link for that down below. And then she has the Teachers Pay Teachers store where you can purchase all these different things for math and reading and phonics and handwriting, and sometimes she gives freebies away where you can print them and try them out. And I just feel like the reading program is great. It's working really great for us so far. And she's done so well. I can't believe how many words she knows. And I guess I underestimated her. I guess I felt like, oh, she's 5. You know, she's too young to remember this and she's too young to remember that. But clearly she's not. She's only limited by how much I expose her to. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not going too fast, but I'm also challenging her enough where she is just growing incredibly. And she learns a lot too by hearing me talk to her older sister about different things. And like I said, we do some things together now. We're trying to do more and more things together. We're getting ready to start. My oldest daughter's already been doing geography, but I'm kind of switching up what she's doing, and so we're going to do it now all together. And I think that's going to be great. And yeah, when she gets a little bit older, we'll probably have to hit on geography again. But she can remember a lot more than I give her credit for. She can learn a lot more than I give her credit for. And so she's only limited by what I'm actually going to expose her to and how much I'm willing to practice with her and do different activities that really reinforce whatever we're learning. So I'm kind of going off path here a little bit. But I just wanted to share with you guys, though, how the last month and a half has been hard, but it's been amazing to see all these big leaps and bounds in growth and learning with her, my 5-year-old, and then also really kind of getting into a pattern with my 11-year-old, figuring out now what really is working for her and what wasn't. There's a couple things we were doing last year that just were not working. And it's a process, and it's probably going to change again, but we're kind of getting into a pattern, both for me administratively, like how I'm organizing everything and how I'm keeping attendance and how I'm scheduling our days, how I'm making time to work independently with whoever needs it, how I'm making time to plan more unit studies together, doing a lot more outside of the home. So 4-H, my oldest daughter started piano this year via free piano lessons online. So trying to mix it up and not be as freaked out as I have been about like recording every little minute and every little thing, and making sure to take times for field trips and doing things like that. So I don't know, it's been a good month and a half. The next time you see me about this, I might be crying my head off because something horrible happened and we've had a backslide in our progress. But right now things are really great. We started off really great. The girls are doing amazingly. My youngest daughter is doing really good with loving school. Right now she really loves it. We've been really fun and rewarding and exciting and encouraging. So hopefully you guys that homeschool are encouraged by this to stop and make sure you are paying attention to the little miracles that happen every day in homeschooling. If it's learning to read, if it's a concept that your kid didn't get but all of a sudden that they got it and you were so happy that they got it. All those little milestones really are important. So make sure you're taking notice of those, even if you write them down. You know, today so-and-so could read the word encyclopedia or whatever it is. Making sure that you're taking time to notice all those little victories that are happening around you every day that you homeschool with each of your kids. They're happening whether you notice them or not. And the more you notice them, though, I feel like it's going to encourage you. It's going to encourage your kids because you're going to be like, hey, great job, you did it. I think it's just going to be more encouraging for you and your kids. It's going to make it a more positive experience every day where they're going to look more and more forward to their homeschooling work. And it's just, it's the momentum that you need to keep you moving forward, because sometimes finding that momentum and finding that motivation and inspiration is not always easy. So just like when you're trying to lose weight and you lose finally that first pound, that's sometimes all the encouragement you need to go lose another pound and another pound and another pound, or however much. You know, I bring up fitness a lot because to me that's the most relatable thing for people. Pretty much everybody has fitness goals they want to reach. So, but it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you sometimes have to see a little bit of progress before you notice any progress at all. And so noticing those little victories every day and notice those little blessings and those little light bulb moments are really, they really could be the momentum that you need to get you through your day, to get you through your weeks and your months and your years as you're homeschooling your kids. Hopefully you found this video encouraging. Please like this video if you like it, and if you'd like to see more videos in this kind of Homeschool Heart to Heart series, let me know down below, and I would definitely be open to talking about different things with you guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.